Are here back again with Madden simulation, and Madden got another one right this time, and in a on the field controversial ending, but doesn't matter. Madden got another one right, improved its record to 7-9, and has a chance to end the season at an even 500 and go in the postseason with a clean slate and see if it can improve its winning ways. This week, for this game of the week, we have two teams that are on life support in the playoff race on the NFC side, where the winner stays alive while the loser is practically dead and stranded in the water. We have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Dallas Cowboys, and of course, we have the return of Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys. Now, unfortunately, he's not playing in this game, but that will be besides the point. But what an interesting week we had in the NFL. Referees still can't make up their mind what is a catch. Another big name player is not done for the season, but I don't know what his injury status is. We had another player come back just to be put back on IR, and we have a longtime coach that's calling it quits after the season. But let's first dive into that thrilling game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots, where first and foremost we had the injury of Antonio Brown, and unfortunate, this season it always seems like we've always have lots of injuries, so on and so forth, but it just seems like this year we've had so many big name stars. J.J. Watt, Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Rodgers. And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. I mean, Deshaun Watson, big name rookie at least, who had a great start to his season after a few hiccups to start the season. Richard Sherman. And now, Antonio Brown has been added to that list. He suffered a significant lower leg contusion, and he's been officially ruled out for the game on Monday on Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody who celebrates that, and Happy Holidays. Against the Texans, and who knows how long Antonio Brown will be out? How badly will this affect them on in their playoff run? Because it always seems like within the last few years, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have the best quarterback, running back, wide receiver trio. And you would think with that combination on offense, they could make a deep playoff run, a couple Super Bowl appearances, and maybe a Super Bowl title. But it always seems like one person out of those three gets hurt, or they just don't show up when necessary. And here we go again. Now, we've seen the rise of Juju Smith-Schuster, their rookie wide receiver. We've seen Le'Veon Bell get to form. We've seen Ben Roethlisberger just lighting it up. He had his third 500-yard passing game, a week ago. The first quarterback to have three. He broke his tie that he held with Drew Brees, and that's just an outstanding stat. 3 500-yard passing games. Most quarterbacks don't have 300-yard passing games. But this is a big shot for Pittsburgh because Antonio Brown, people are saying he, potential MVP candidate, and this may prove why he's an MVP candidate, because it depends how well Juju and Bryant, I forget his first name, but the other wide receiver that's been very cranky all season long. Step up to the plate to replace Brown, but only time will tell. And of course, you also have their tight end Jesse James, which brings us to what is a catch. Now, I can flat out say I've seen footage of the video of how that game ended, where James catches the ball, and the act of falling to the ground as he's trying to cross the goal line, it appears that the ball comes out, so it's incomplete. And of course, the very next play, Pittsburgh throws an interception, game over. And maybe there's a little attrition setting in. Because when you see that type of a run, I can feel the defense get a little bit tired. And that's the last thing they need. It's just so funny how we just don't know, especially in recent years. I mean, in all honesty, this goes all the way back to the 99 season, 2000 championship game. The 1999 season, when you had Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the St. Louis Rams in the NFC Championship game, and I believe it was a Buccaneer catches the ball, but the ball appears to touch the ground, but he has possession of it. And, it's ruled incomplete, but that rule got changed to as long as the player has possession of the ball and the ball doesn't move, it can touch the ground. And so, fast forward to the 2014 season, the game between Green Bay and Dallas in the divisional round, Des Bryant. Well, that's more reason. I mean, you even go far, rewind just a little bit to the 2010 season, Detroit at Chicago. Matthew Stafford to Calvin Johnson in the end zone. Johnson appears to catch it, but it was a bang-bang play. He catches it and puts it on the ground before apparently he held it long enough, and it was ruled incomplete. They overturned it, say it was an incomplete pass. He didn't hold the ball long enough. Then you fast forward to that game, the Des Bryant catch no catch, where he catches it and his momentum carries him to the ground. Leans out, ball hits. Leans out, ball hits the ground, ball pops out, incomplete. What happens? Green Bay ends up winning that game. And then, this past week, you had that. I've seen plenty of times in the last few years where, even say in the end zone, catch. The receiver catches the ball, he's down 2 feet, gets hit, ball pops out, but the referee says touchdown. So, and like in my game, the Packers versus Carolina, you had a play where it appeared Bird for the Carolina Panthers comes down, his butt's out of bounds. The rule is incomplete. They review the play, and no, he's inbounds, touchdown. It's like, no. Where's the indisputable evidence to overturn it? This angle looks like he's down. That angle looks like he's in. You need clear, indisputable evidence to overturn it. But the NFL is being wishy-washy on that, or at least the refs are. And we need to know what a catch is, So hopefully, this offseason, the NFL can get their story straight, go through every official and be like, hey, here's a catch. This is not a catch. This is a catch. He's inbounds. He's outbounds. Or when you go to replay, you have to get clear-cut evidence of, okay, if one angle shows this and another angle shows that, it's
willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
You can't overturn it. The ruling on the field stands. If one angle shows one way and the other angle shows that, I say I don't care. Don't care how clear cut the one angle is. If two angles don't make a right, you can't overturn it.
And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. 8 yards on the pickup there.
What else happened in the NFL this past week? Well, speaking of injuries, back to that Packer-Carolina game, we saw the return of Aaron Rodgers for 1 week because the Packers failed to get the magic of a rusty Aaron Rodgers, who just seen better days. He threw 3 interceptions, one that cost his top wide receiver to be knocked out and to be sent into concussion protocol for a second time this year, which I'll get to in a little bit. But with the failure to make the playoffs, the failure to
I think you understand the type of afternoon.
Bring back that magic, mystique, whatever you want to call it. The Packers had a chance. They got a touchdown, recovered an onside kick. 2-3 plays later, another bang play happens where wide receiver for the Packers, Geronimo Allison, appears to catch the ball and appeared to make a football play. Carolina knocks the ball out and they recover a fumble. They go to replay and say, ruling on the field stands. And it just might be me personally. It's hard to swallow, but it was a bang play. And you're going to rule that as a catch and the other one, or not a catch and a fumble and the other one a catch. I don't know. I think I'm just whining a little too much about that, but it's it's a headache, you could say, because the referees, officials need to crack down on this stuff. So, but backing up a little bit, so Packers they lose. They're eliminated from the playoffs, so they decide, hey, Aaron Rodgers, you're going back on IR. We're going to bring out Brett Hundley for the last 2 games and, either finish the season 7-9, 8-8, 9-7, or 8-7-1, 7-8-1, 7-7-2. Yeah, those are the only options. So hope there's no ties. And this week, the Green Bay Packers played the Minnesota Vikings, who were the team that basically ruined the Packers season. Now, there's some. I mean, it doesn't take one person to ruin a season, but it does. But I mean, the Packers don't have the defense. Hopefully, they fire their defensive coordinator and get someone better, and hopefully next year, healthy Aaron Rodgers, a great running back duo in the backfield, and an improved defense. Hey, we're back to where we started. Sometimes, it's just because you made the playoffs 8 straight years, sometimes you need to be get a reality check. So, Packer Nation, Packer fans, reality check has set in. We're not the New England Patriots who's made the playoffs same number of years as us. But the difference is they've won the AFC East every single year. They've been to 3 Super Bowls, 4 Super Bowls, and won 2 of them. They've been to 3 Super Bowls since then. They've won 2 of them. So how many have we been to? How many have we won? How many division titles have we won? 1 Super Bowl. We've been to 3 NFC Championship games. Lost 2 of them. Haven't always won division titles every single year like them, but hey. Anyways, let's go. Still in that game, when Aaron Rodgers threw his second interception, you had Davante Adams getting lit up by Thomas Davis. I forget. I know those are the two names in his name. Lit up helmet to helmet to Davante Adams. And as soon as he did, he sees replay. He's David Thomas. He's all apologetic and just but you know, this is twice now that Davante Adams has been knocked out of a game. He's been in concussion protocol. This is the first time he's going to miss a game because of it. And you know, Davis has tried to apologize to Adams, and Adams is like, he doesn't want any of it. He's like calling bullcrap, this and that, and I don't blame Adams being upset. This is twice now. It was unnecessary. And what does Davis have to do? First, he gets a 2-game suspension, reduced to 1. And it's the NFL needs to start, if they really want to start making a difference and try and eliminate these hits, they need to impose harsher punishments. And if you have a clean record, that's where you appeal. When you appeal, it should be reduced, this and that, if you have a clean record. But if you're a multiple offender, the chance of appeal is slim to none. But what I'm trying to say is you need to have a set system. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a joke. You look at Gronkowski, what he did. After the play, intent to hurt, wind up, smacks the guy in the head, hits White in the head, knocks him out. He only gets 1-game suspension. Juju Smith delivering a block. And he gets a 1-game suspension because basic taunting. And then you have you have Davis. Clearly, you know, is headhunted in my mind. Knocks him out. Knocks Adams out. 2 games reduced to 1. So, were they all the same? No, not really. I mean, Gronk, in my mind, I said before, he should have had a 4-game suspension. Missed the last 4 games of the season. File the appeal, maybe reduce to 2, but you need that harsher punishment to try to get this out of there. And hopefully the NFL, it doesn't matter how many games they're suspended, it's always be scrutinized. And if you take it case by case, and it's like, well, if you look at it, they're the same. No, you need, in my mind, you have to have a set protocol or whatever. Multiple offenders, it goes up. I'm sorry, but if you gotta learn how, we're trying to be more progressive, less violent. I don't know. Safety, care for safety. Adams has to miss a game. Okay. Davis has to miss a game, but the thing is, Davis is going to be healthy the following week. Adams, you don't know. He might have to miss the last game of the season because of this. So, I don't know if I'm really for if the guy you gave concussion to is out for 5 games, you have to sit 5 games. I don't know if I'm with that.
Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this
equality, but we'll see. Hopefully the NFL improves their
set them back 5.
Improves on it, not take it case by case. Set up some categories. You do this. I don't care. Here we go. You're going to serve it. You can file an appeal. If you haven't done anything like this before, it'll get reduced most likely, but it depends on what you did and how you did it on the field at the time. So, some other news that took place this past week, we had Marvin Lewis of the Cincinnati Bengals. He has said that he is not coming back. He is done with the Bengals and his tenure. I don't even know how long he was with them. 15 years or so. 0-7 in the playoffs, which is sad and pathetic. He's calling it quits. And, it's sad that the Bengals he could not win a playoff game. But, We also have the Seattle Seahawks. You know, it only took them 6 weeks. They've been fined $100,000 for violating the concussion protocol with
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident.
Russell Wilson, that's his name, who got jaw jacked from a helmet in his jaw. Was going to go under that little blue tent, and he gets up, runs off, and jumps back on the field. And no, he wasn't cleared. He wasn't medically cleared by the independent neurologist or whatever, and jumps back in the game and says fine and finishes, and makes a mockery of the concussion protocol when safety is a big concern in this day and age. Also, apparently, our favorite Marshawn Lynch, he's just here not to get fined. Well, he got fined $24,000 this week for his actions towards the referee in the game against Dallas. I'm not exactly sure what he did, but Marshawn Lynch, in my opinion, is just a big old joke. But it is what it is. And oh yeah, that's right. We had the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl was announced this week. All the stars and so forth that, half of them aren't going to show up anyways, and the Pro Bowl, in my mind, the Pro Bowl, is sad, not pathetic. It's just not what it was or what you want it to be, because the Pro Bowl is supposed to be the best versus the best, NFC versus AFC, and you're not going to get that. You're just going to get a bunch of scrubs that are willing to show up and play. And I might get into this a little more in depth later on when the Pro Bowl comes a little close. But I really feel that the NFL should do something like what the NHL has done, where the NHL has a 3-on-3 tournament with the divisions, and just try and have fun. Have a nice, fun weekend during All-Star Week. Besides the skill challenges, I love if the NFL brings that back for this Pro Bowl and so forth, Pro Bowl week, Super Bowl week, whatever. But I say but for what the NFL should do, play some flag football. NFC North, NFC South, AFC East, AFC West, so on and so forth. That way, just something. So, but let's move on. Take a look at the games this week. Before we do that, we're going to take a look at the playoff standings. In the AFC, we have, since New England won, New England has that top seed, followed by Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, and Kansas City, while the two wild cards are Tennessee and Buffalo. Still in the hunt, surprisingly enough, are the 6-8 Miami Dolphins, the 6-8 Oakland Raiders, basically for the AFC West, the 7-7 Los Angeles Chargers, and the 8-6 Baltimore Ravens. I would love to see the Bills make that push. On the NFC side, we have the Eagles, Vikings, Rams, and Saints as 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by the Panthers and Falcons. Still in the hunt are the Cowboys, Seahawks, and Detroit, all at 8-6. So we got ourselves an interesting last 2 weeks, especially with this elimination game ahead. Games that we have this week: we have 2 on Saturday, 2 on Monday, and rest on Sunday. Starting with Indianapolis at Baltimore, Minnesota at Green Bay. Those are your Festivus games. Your Christmas Eve games are Tampa Bay at Carolina, Cleveland at Chicago, Detroit at Cincinnati, Miami at Kansas City, Buffalo at New England, Atlanta at New Orleans. NFC South up for the grabs there. LA Chargers versus the New York Giants. LA Rams versus the Tennessee Titans. Denver at Washington. Jacksonville at San Francisco. The New York Giants at Arizona. And Seattle at Dallas wraps up Sunday. And on Monday we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at Houston and the Oakland Raiders at the Philadelphia Eagles for the final game for Monday Night Football. So, I went 2-1 last week because my upset pick did not come true. It almost did, but my guarantee and upset this week, I got Detroit over Cincinnati as my guarantee, and my upset, just for fun, Tampa Bay at Carolina, just to throw a little wrinkle in there for playoff contenders. But then we have this game, Seattle, Dallas. It's a good question. In my opinion, I don't want Seattle to win. I'll put it that way, plain and simple. They've been, just like the Packers, L-U-C-K-Y the last few years. Lucky to get in and make a run. And when they get in, they make their names heard. But throughout the season, they have ugly games, ugly losses, and is it time to give up on them? Well, this year's time to give up on the Packers. This year, maybe Seattle will join them. Basic, like I said, winner still alive, loser is done. But yet, I forget what the Rams' record is. They split last week, and the Rams just destroyed Seattle. But I will say I'm pulling for Dallas in this game. At the moment, they have a 7-point lead with 21 seconds left. All Seattle has to do is recover the onside kick, and boom, they're in business. The Rams are 10-4, so I don't know how the tiebreaker works that way. If they both finish 10-6.
So still a chance with just over 20 seconds to go, but they need to get this.
Here's the onside kick, and it's recovered by Dallas. That's going to be the game. So Dallas gets the win. I'm hoping Dallas wins. But I just want to make clear, I'm not a big Ezekiel Elliott fan. But Dallas can be one of those teams that gets in and they're hot. They've won 3 in a row now. I know against some crappy teams, but it doesn't matter. When you're hot, you're hot. And right now, they're one of the hottest teams in the NFC. They just keep it rolling, and you never know. We might have America's team in the Super Bowl and everyone just being so mad. But anyways, there you have it. Dallas is your winner. They keep their playoff hopes alive. At least Madden says so. So we all know Madden's right. Yeah, take that, Pete Carroll. Your horse face and gum chewing. So there you have it. Dallas. Madden likes Dallas. I like Dallas too. I'm sorry, Russell Wilson. I know you went to Wisconsin. You made me happy that you did for one season, but better luck next year. So we'll see. We got 1 week left of the regular season. We don't know what that flex game is, what game is going to be playoff implications, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an NFC South game that's do so. So I hope all you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, enjoy your time off, unlike some of us who are still forced to work because of their job choices. But hey, there's football on all weekend. Hopefully you all have a white Christmas, those who can afford it. And until next time, till next week, enjoy that game, and until then, see ya, and thanks for watching.
From Arlington.